So you guys have talked about planning. So you all have a practice of scheduling. You've become quite disciplined in it. I can hear it. I can hear the consistency with it. But in today's technology-driven world, stuff is coming at us all of the time. And you're so very scheduled. And Kush, you spoke to it a little bit, but when stuff is coming at you, how do you deal with what's coming at you? Because I suspect a lot of you are dealing with that kind of question as well. So both, Kush, go ahead, and then Cindy.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
So it depends on what's coming at me. So what's an example that you would give of something coming at me? What?
Well, I know for myself, things that'll come at me is somebody will want more of my time.
Okay.
For me, that's one of them. Something else that might come at me is when I worked at UVA, what would come at me often was a boss telling me I had to do this.
Yep.
Like this had to get done.
Yep.
So those are the kinds of things I'm speaking to.
So it's all about, like, I think in time. Like that is a dimension that I think in. So it all depends on when it becomes critical.
Very good.
Right? Mm-hmm. So if it comes at me and it's critical to do tomorrow, then I got to look at tomorrow and pull something out and figure out where that thing's going to go and what it bumps.
Yep.
Right? So it's all about when the deadline is.
Excellent.
I'll also speak to, many of us have others that we are accountable to. And so as somebody who may get a last minute request and it's urgent, it's coming from the CEO of the hospital, it clearly needs to be attended to. One of the first things, the beauty of planning and scheduling and planning out is you do have some sense of when you can squeeze something in. So I will rarely say no. I will say, this is when I think it's reasonable that I can get this to you. Now, I work in an environment that very much supports work-life balance. And so, I can say what it's going to take to get this done will be for me to work until 10 o'clock all week and then work the weekend. Is that acceptable to you? Now, many of you probably work with people who would say yes. I work with people who would say no. So then the conversation is, well, this is what we have determined as a priority. How might we get this all done? Or what is no longer as much of a priority as what you've just presented to me? And in that conversation, it's the we. This is something we need to get done. And that was a really critical turning point for me as a producer, because until I really got that, it was all about, I got to get this done, I got to figure out how to get it done. It's my problem, it's nobody else's problem but me. And when I shifted my perspective to, this is our problem, this is our opportunity, it took it out of the realm of being something that I was overwhelmed by and had to get done and figure it out, to maybe this isn't quite as important as they think it is once I help them see what else they've determined as a priority.
That's huge. The other thing I would say, just from the world of tips and techniques, so to speak, is if you are somebody who does tend to schedule things, schedule breakdown time.
Yes.
Okay? A lot of people just schedule themselves back to back, or they put a bunch of things. No, you need to have white space called breakdown time. Somebody comes to you, they need something, they need it immediately. You handle that thing immediately, but what was on your schedule at that moment then gets moved to breakdown time. And you take care of it there. So that's just a quick tip. Second thing that I have, and then I'll go ahead and answer questions, is your aims. So many people are not determining what they're going to take on next based on their aims. So when somebody comes at me and they want something from me, one of the first things I ask myself is, does that satisfy my aims? Or is that person putting their aims on me? So mostly the way we are in our schedules and the way we work is we're about fulfilling on other people's aims. I invite you to really start looking at how to schedule your aims.